Have you ever noticed how when someone close to us passes away, we often hesitate to touch their things? It's more than just feeling nostalgic or emotionally attached. There's a deeper reason behind it, something our ancestors understood intuitively, but that many of us have lost sight of today. When my grandmother died a few years back, it took my family 3 whole months before we dared to open her wardrobe. It wasn't just grief holding us back. It felt like there was some kind of invisible presence, an energy lingering in her clothes, her jewelry, her books. And you know what? That feeling wasn't just in our heads. It turns out it's a form of ancient wisdom that lives on through our instincts. Cultures all over the world have recognized this for centuries. Take the ancient Egyptians, for example. They buried personal belongings with the dead because they believed the soul's connection to those items didn't sever right away. In Hindu tradition, personal effects remain untouched for 13 days after death. Tibetans wait 49 days before handling a deceased person's things. Jewish customs observe a 30-day mourning period before making any decisions about a loved one's possessions. Why? Because personal belongings aren't just physical objects. They carry a part of the person's energy. Think about it. How often do you handle your phone every day? Your fingerprints aren't the only thing you leave behind. You also leave your energy, your unique vibration, your very essence. Now imagine that energy building up over years. Consider a wedding ring worn daily for decades, or a watch that's been present through life's milestones. Clothes don't just hold scent, they absorb the wearer's emotions too. From an energetic perspective, there's a huge difference between a random object and a personal item. A brand new chair in a store is just neutral energy, but your grandpa's favorite chair, the one where he read the paper every afternoon, that chair holds a reservoir of his presence. This isn't superstition, it's quantum physics meeting spirituality. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. When someone interacts with an object over time, energy flows back and forth. The object becomes charged with that person's unique frequency. Experienced mediums understand this well. That's why they ask for a personal item to connect with someone who has passed. It acts like an antenna, a bridge between worlds, preserving the energetic signature of someone who's no longer physically here. Here's the key. That connection doesn't vanish at the moment of death. It fades slowly, like a scent on a sweater left in a closet. At first, it's strong. Day by day, it grows faint until it eventually disappears. The real question isn't whether we should part with a departed loved one's belongings, but when and how to do it thoughtfully and respectfully for both those left behind and those who have passed on. Quantum physicist Amit Goswami has shown that consciousness interacts directly with matter. Every time you touch an object, your brain waves, your bioelectric field, your heart's rhythm, all of these leave a subtle energetic mark on it. It's like engraving a piece of your essence into the very molecules of that thing. That's why holding your dad's old pen or wearing your mom's favorite sweater feels different. If you're skeptical about objects absorbing our energy, think of it this way. You're a radio station broadcasting your unique frequency 24/7. Your emotions, thoughts, every touch sends out vibrations. Everything around you picks up on this, acting like antennas tuned into your broadcast. And again, this isn't just poetic, it's science. Goswami's research confirms it. Consciousness leaves imprints on matter. That's how mediums read personal items. It's not just sentimentality, it's a spiritual science rooted in physics. Not all materials hold energy the same way, though. Natural substances, wood, stone, metal, organic fabrics, are far more receptive than plastics or synthetics. That's why antique jewelry is so charged with energy. Metals like gold and silver and gemstones are excellent conductors and storers of frequency. There's also what some call the aosic memory, a universal archive that records everything that's ever happened, and it reveals itself through objects. Each thing you use regularly becomes a little library of memories, not just feelings, but your life's important moments. Think of your grandparents' wedding ring. How many times has it been touched during moments of love, arguments, prayers, or gratitude? All those experiences get recorded in its energy. The strength of this imprint depends on three things: how long you used the item, the emotional intensity of your moments with it, and how often you handled it. A toothbrush used for a couple of months won't hold the same energy as a watch worn daily for 30 years. A ring worn only at parties won't carry the same charge as one worn every day. This explains why some people feel uneasy wearing thrift store clothes or antique jewelry with unknown histories. They're sensing the energies left behind by previous owners. It's not just picky feelings, it's real energetic sensitivity. And when someone dies, these imprints don't vanish instantly. Like perfume lingering on clothing, the energy gradually fades over time. That's why shamans and healers have always performed rituals to cleanse objects before passing them on, clearing old energies to prevent unwanted influence. Modern neuroscience backs this up too, through studies on mirror neurons and how our brains respond to energy and intention. Our brains have an amazing ability to pick up and mirror emotional energies, even through objects. When you come into contact with something that holds a strong energetic imprint, your neurons start to resonate with that information, causing you to experience faint echoes of the emotions tied to whoever once owned the item. Did you know that nearly every spiritual tradition, whether Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, or African indigenous beliefs, shares the idea that after death, the soul stays connected to the physical world for a certain period? And intriguingly, that time frame is almost always about 40 days. In Christianity, Jesus spent 40 days on earth after his resurrection before ascending. Tibetan Buddhism describes a 49-day phase called the Bardao, during which the soul gradually detaches. Islam honors a 40-day mourning period. Likewise, many African and indigenous cultures observe similar time frames. Why 40 days? It's believed this is the natural window for the soul to gently let go of its earthly ties and continue its spiritual journey. During this time, the recently departed remain energetically linked to everything that was part of their physical life. Personal belongings act like invisible threads, keeping that connection alive, extensions of their energy that haven't yet faded away. In the first week after death, this connection is strongest. Family members often report sensing the presence of their loved one, hearing familiar footsteps, feeling a unique atmosphere in the home. Personal items seem to vibrate more intensely, reflecting the soul's closeness as it transitions. Between days 7 and 21, the soul begins to detach gradually. It becomes aware of its new state and slowly loosens its hold on earthly connections, but still holds strong ties to close family and cherished possessions. From day 21 to 40 is what mystics call the release phase. The soul makes its final goodbyes, resolves unfinished business, and prepares to move on. Many people experience vivid dreams or sudden feelings of calm, and sometimes even glimpses of their departed loved one during this period. Throughout all this, hastily moving or discarding a person's belongings can be unsettling for their spirit. Imagine being in the middle of a delicate detachment process and suddenly having everything you once owned taken away or given away. It's like snapping the threads that still bind you to your past life. I'm not suggesting the soul gets trapped in objects, rather there's a natural process of letting go that deserves patience and respect. Like allowing fruit to ripen fully before picking it, there's a right time for everything. My aunt went through this firsthand. After my uncle passed, she rushed to donate his belongings, thinking it would help her heal faster. But in the weeks that followed, she struggled with restless nights and a feeling that something was unfinished. Peace only came when she held on to a few meaningful items and waited before making final decisions. Eastern traditions emphasize preserving a deceased person's belongings for 40 days, honoring their passage and easing the transition, not out of attachment, but conscious love. There are signs that signal this critical period is ending. The house loses that charged feeling of presence. Dreams become less frequent and more peaceful. Handling personal items feels more neutral, less charged. Let me share some signs that clearly suggest a departed soul still maintains energetic ties to their belongings. One of the most common is subtle movement. I'm not talking about things flying through the air like in horror movies. I mean small, almost unnoticeable shifts. A drawer you're sure you closed found slightly open, a picture frame tilting on its own, a clock stopping at the exact hour the person used to wake. A friend once told me that after her husband died, his favorite armchair would be found slightly tilted forward every morning, as if someone had just stood up. She'd straighten it before bed, only to find it in the same position the next day. This went on for exactly 42 days. Scent is another powerful sign. You might suddenly catch your loved one's perfume on clothing stored away for weeks, or smell your father's cigarette in a room where no one has smoked in years. These fragrances tend to appear near the belongings most often used. Touch sensations also reveal energy. While sorting through clothes, you might notice certain pieces feel warmer or cooler, or experience a tingling when holding a piece of jewelry. Some even say they feel a gentle touchback when grasping deeply personal items. Temperature shifts near belongings are classic indicators too. Entering a loved one's room, you might feel an unexplained chill or warmth near their dresser or closet. Not a draft, but a change in the energy field. Electronic devices sometimes react as well. Radios tuning to the deceased's favorite station by themselves, phones ringing with no caller, TVs switching channels without remote use. Invisible energies easily interact with electromagnetic fields. Vivid dreams connected to particular objects can be direct messages. The departed might appear, asking you to care for a specific item or showing you where something important is hidden. These dreams feel more vivid and real than ordinary ones. Physical sensations may also occur. A tightness in your chest while opening a certain drawer, or a fluttering in your stomach near a particular cabinet. Your body is picking up on the lingering energy. Some people report hearing familiar sounds, slippers shuffling, keys jingling, or a chair creaking as if someone just stood up. Animals often sense these energies too. A cat avoiding a certain room, a dog staring intently at an empty chair and wagging its tail. They're picking up on vibrations we usually overlook. The most important thing is to trust your gut. If you feel a presence tied to the belongings, it's likely there. If handling certain items makes you uneasy, your energy system is responding. These signs aren't meant to scare, but to remind us that our loved ones are still navigating their transition, holding emotional ties to the world they left behind. Over time, these manifestations naturally fade as the soul moves forward. It's also worth noting that not all possessions carry the same energetic weight. Some objects serve as deep energy reservoirs, while others hold only faint impressions. Let me walk you through how to recognize which objects carry special energetic significance. At the very top of this list is jewelry. Rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, especially those worn daily, absorb energy deeply. Because metal is an excellent conductor of vibrations, constant skin contact creates a powerful imprint. The wedding band, in particular, often holds the strongest energetic charge someone can possess. Watches are another unique category of personal power objects. They mark every moment of a person's life. Significant decisions, stressful times, joyful occasions, and quiet reflections. Each tick captures a bit of their energy. It's no surprise many watches mysteriously stop at the time their owner passes away, as if they lose the energy source that kept them going. Underwear and garments worn closest to the skin also maintain intense energetic connections. Sleep shirts, robes, socks, anything with prolonged contact carries not only the wearer's scent, but their very essence. Glasses offer a fascinating insight. They're literally windows to the soul. They reflect how someone viewed the world and contain subtle impressions of everything they witnessed. Reading glasses, in particular, are powerful because they're part of moments filled with focus, learning, and contemplation. Shoes hold the energy of every step, every journey taken, every place visited. Well-loved pairs, especially, become energetic maps charting the wearer's path through life. Now, I'm curious, what's one item from someone special you just couldn't part with? I bet there's something that tugs at your heart every time you think about it. Photographs are potent portals of energy, freezing specific moments and emotions in time. Pictures capturing happy times radiate joy, while those from harder periods may carry a trace of sadness. The photos a person cherished most often hold the strongest energy. Personal writings, letters, journals, notes are rich with the energy of thoughts and feelings present during the moment of writing. Every word is infused with intention and emotion, acting as concentrated capsules of that person's consciousness. Objects handled daily, pens, keys, wallets, bags, absorb energy through repeated contact and their role in the person's life. A house key carries the energy of every arrival and departure. A wallet reflects the vibrations of financial decisions, moments of abundance or anxiety. Musical instruments stand out as extraordinary power objects. They serve as channels for the soul's expression, with every note leaving an energetic mark. The guitar that was strummed for serenades or the piano where cherished melodies came to life become true extensions of the player's heart and spirit. Favorite books, especially those read and reread, soak up the energy of every reading session, every reflection, every burst of inspiration. Notes in the margins and highlighted passages are like maps revealing the person's inner journey and growth. Religious items, crucifixes, saint statues, crystals, amulets, carry not only personal energy but also the energy of prayers, intentions, and faith embedded in them. These items form a bridge between the human and the divine. Decorative pieces chosen with care, paintings the person loved, and plants they nurtured all hold significant energetic weight. These items reflect their personality and taste, becoming extensions of who they were. The bottom line, the more personal and meaningful an object was, the stronger its energetic charge, and the more thoughtfully it should be handled after someone passes. These special objects aren't just belongings, they are bridges that connect us, sources of comfort, and often vehicles through which our departed loved ones send signs of love and protection. Now, what I'm about to share might sound unsettling, but it's crucial to understand. When items charged with the energy of someone who has passed are donated or sold without proper care, they can carry far more than just physical presence. Energy doesn't vanish simply because ownership changes, it transfers. I knew a family who quickly gave away their father's clothes to charity. Within 2 weeks, they started getting strange calls from people who received those items. One woman said that after wearing a particular shirt, she couldn't stop crying for no clear reason. A young man reported recurring nightmares after putting on a coat. A child who got a pair of shoes developed an unexplained fear. This isn't coincidence, it's direct energetic transfer. When someone dies, especially if the death was sudden or traumatic, their most personal items often retain parts of their emotional energy. Sensitive people who come into contact with these belongings can absorb those feelings as if they were their own. The biggest risk arises when objects carrying heavy emotions, grief, anger, fear, illness end up with people already going through emotional challenges. These energies find fertile ground to manifest in new ways. I often see families donating clothes of loved ones who passed after long hospital stays. These items may carry not just the energy of illness, but also anxiety and fear from those final days. When these belongings change hands, they can affect the new owner's emotional and even physical well-being. Children are especially vulnerable to this kind of energetic transfer. Their energy systems are still developing and much more open to outside influences. For that reason, clothes belonging to children who have passed should never be handed down without thorough spiritual cleansing. Thrift shops and secondhand stores are full of items charged with layers of different energies. Sensitive visitors often report feeling uncomfortable or uneasy, picking up a complex mix of emotions, memories, and even trauma left by previous owners. There are even documented cases of objects following their new owners. For example, a client once bought an antique doll at a flea market, and soon after she began experiencing nightmares about a crying child. She later learned that the doll once belonged to a little girl who tragically died in an accident. Peace only came after she performed a spiritual release ritual to cleanse the doll's energy. Old furniture often carries similar heavy energy. Beds, chairs, tables that have witnessed moments of joy, conflict, illness, and death can hold on to those vibrations for decades. People who buy antique furniture without knowing its past sometimes find themselves dealing with unexpected problems. The good news? Not all transferred energy is negative. Items from positive, loving, or spiritually awakened individuals can actually bring blessings to their new owners. Still, even in these cases, energetic cleansing is important because everyone vibrates at a unique frequency. Neutralizing the energy prevents any clashes. Remember, energy isn't a game. It's real, powerful, and it can deeply influence our lives. Giving away charged objects without proper care is like handing someone an emotional time bomb. Now, let's get to the practical and crucial part: how to energetically cleanse belongings before making decisions about them. Energetic cleansing isn't optional. It's necessary for honoring both the departed and those who will inherit the items. The most effective and ancient method is smudging with sacred herbs. White sage, rosemary, rue, basil, and guinea grass are all powerful for clearing energy. Light the herb bundle, allow the smoke to fully surround each item, and visualize any foreign or stagnant energy dissolving and transforming into pure light. For clothing, the saltwater soak is remarkable. Dissolve 3 handfuls of coarse salt in a basin of clean water and submerge the garments for at least 3 hours, ideally during daylight. The salt draws out dense energies while the water washes them away. Afterwards, wash the clothes normally. Metal items like jewelry respond well to cleansing with running water. Hold them under a faucet for a few minutes, imagining all lingering energy from previous owners being carried off by the flow. For an added boost, do this on a Friday night. Venus's influence supports energetic transformation. Sunlight is one of the oldest and most potent purifiers. Place objects in direct midday sun for at least 2 hours. Sunlight transmutes heavy energies into neutral vibrations. This works especially well with crystals, metals, and fabrics. Books and papers require a gentler approach. Burning sandalwood or myrrh incense produces smoke that's subtle enough to protect delicate pages while neutralizing mental and emotional energies embedded in the text. For objects heavily charged with energy, burying them in the earth for 3 days during a waning moon works wonders. The soil naturally absorbs and transmutes negative energy. Wrap the item in white cloth before burying. Sound cleansing using Tibetan singing bowls, crystal bowls, or rhythmic clapping produces vibrations that break up old energy patterns. Spend at least 5 minutes near the objects, repeating until you feel the space shift energetically. Visualization is a powerful tool to combine with these methods. Picture a golden light enveloping each object, dissolving any residual energy and leaving the item pure and neutral, like new. For larger furniture, you can use an energy cleansing spray made by mixing water, a few drops of lavender essential oil, a pinch of salt, and floral essences such as rock rose or crabapple. Spray the whole piece while visualizing purification. A release prayer is a key final step. Hold each item and say, "I release all energy that does not belong to this object. May every connection to the past dissolve in love and light. May this item be free to serve its highest good." Repeat this 3 times. Some items need more intense cleansing. In those cases, combine methods. Start with smudging, then salt water, followed by sun exposure, and finish with prayer. Trust your intuition to know when an object feels fully cleansed. Don't forget to cleanse yourself afterward, especially after handling strongly charged belongings. Take a salt bath, smudge with sage, and visualize any foreign energy leaving your body and returning to the universal source of light. Also, clear the space where the objects were stored. Smudge every room, open windows to refresh the air, and light a white candle, asking that only love and light remain. Intention matters just as much as the technique. Approach the entire process with respect, gratitude, and love. You're helping the departed find release while protecting those who will carry these objects forward. Once cleansed, these items become neutral and ready to serve new purposes, free from past energetic baggage. Here's something that might change how you view belongings of those who have passed. The soul uses personal items as antennas to send messages, signs of protection, and love to those still here. Learning to recognize these signs shows us that death doesn't end love. It simply transforms how love is expressed. One common experience is synchronicity linked to certain objects. You might be going through a tough time when suddenly you find an old letter from your loved one tucked away somewhere unexpected. Or, while missing them, you stumble upon a box of photos you'd forgotten. This isn't random chance, it's a deliberate communication. Selena experienced this after her mother died. Whenever she faced big decisions, items her mother once used seemed to appear just when she needed guidance. When deciding whether to move, she found her mother's old keys inside a book she randomly picked up. When worried about her health, she discovered forgotten medicine in a drawer she had opened many times before. Now, remember, cleansing your belongings energetically is not optional. It's essential for honoring those who have moved on and for those who receive their cherished possessions. The first and most powerful step: smudging with sacred herbs. When it comes to clearing the energy from objects, some herbs stand out as the most effective: white sage, rosemary, rue, guinea, and basil. To cleanse, light your chosen herb and allow the smoke to fully surround the item, imagining all unwanted energies dissolving and transforming into pure light. For clothing, there's a remarkable ritual involving coarse salt and water. Mix 3 handfuls of coarse salt into a basin of clean water and soak the garments for at least 3 hours, ideally during the daytime. The salt pulls out heavy energies while the water washes them away. After soaking, wash the clothes as usual. Jewelry and other metal items respond beautifully to cleansing under running water. Hold the piece beneath a faucet for several minutes, visualizing any lingering energy from the previous owner being washed off. For an added boost, try doing this on a Friday night, as Venus's energy supports transformation and renewal. Sunlight is one of the oldest and most powerful purifiers. Leave objects exposed to direct midday sun for at least 2 hours. Sunlight naturally converts dense, stagnant energy into neutral vibrations. This works especially well for crystals, metals, and fabrics. Books and papers require a gentler touch. Burning sandalwood or myrrh incense produces a soft smoke that won't damage delicate pages, but will clear mental and emotional energies embedded in the text. For items heavily charged with energy, the burial method is ideal. Wrap the object in white cloth and bury it in the ground for 3 days, preferably during a waning moon. The earth absorbs and transmutes heavy energies naturally. Sound healing can also break up old energy patterns. Tibetan singing bowls, crystal bowls, or rhythmic clapping create vibrations that help reset the energy field. Spend at least 5 minutes making sound near the object until you sense the energy has shifted. Visualization is a powerful complement to any physical cleansing method. Picture a golden light enveloping each object, dissolving any leftover energy and leaving the item completely clear and neutral, as if brand new. For larger furniture pieces, use an energy cleansing spray made by mixing water with a few drops of lavender essential oil, a pinch of salt, and floral essences like rock rose or crabapple. Spray the surface while imagining the item being purified. A crucial part of this process is the release prayer. Hold each item and say aloud, "I release all energy that does not belong to this object. May every tie to the past dissolve in love and light. May this item be free to serve its highest purpose." Repeat this 3 times. Sometimes objects need extra care. In those cases, combine methods. Begin with smudging, follow with saltwater soaking, then sun exposure, and finish with prayer. Trust your instincts to know when the cleansing is complete. Don't forget to cleanse yourself after handling heavily charged objects. Take a bath with coarse salt, smudge your body with sage, and imagine any foreign energy washing away back to the universal source of light. The space where the items were stored should also be cleansed. Smudge all rooms. Open windows to refresh the air and light a white candle, asking that only loving, positive energies remain. Remember, intention is as important as technique. Approach every step with love, respect, and gratitude. You're helping both the departed find peace and protecting those who will receive these belongings. Once properly cleansed, objects become neutral and ready to serve new purposes without carrying any energetic baggage. Here's something that might change how you see belongings left behind by loved ones. These items aren't just reminders. They can be active channels between worlds. The soul of the departed often uses personal possessions as antennas to send messages, offer protection, and express love. When you learn to recognize these signs, you'll realize death doesn't end love. It simply changes the way it communicates. One common sign is synchronicity linked to specific objects. During tough times, you might unexpectedly find an old letter or stumble upon a box of forgotten photos. This isn't random chance, it's a deliberate form of communication. Maria experienced this often after her mother passed away. Whenever she faced big decisions, she'd come across objects her mother once used, perfectly related to the situation. When deciding about moving, she found her mother's old keys tucked inside a book she randomly picked. When worried about her health, she discovered one of her mother's forgotten medicines in a drawer she'd opened countless times. Objects also enhance intuition. If you hold something deeply personal belonging to the departed and ask a question silently, pay attention to your first thought, feeling, or image. That's likely a response from them. Unexplained changes in objects can be messages too. A clock that stops exactly at their birth time. A plant that blooms off-season on meaningful dates. A radio that turns on by itself, playing their favorite song just when you need comfort. One of the most touching signs is finding gifts. While sorting through belongings, you might come across something you didn't remember they had, perfectly relevant to your current life, as if they saved it for you. Pedro experienced this after losing his job shortly after his father's death. While going through his father's things, he found an envelope with his name on it, containing money and a note. "For the hard days I know will come. I love you." His father had left it 2 years before passing, seemingly knowing Pedro would need it. Subtle shifts in how objects are placed are also communications. A photo frame might be turned differently from how you left it, or rings you arranged one way are found, rearranged later. A gentle reminder, "I'm here." Dreams where the departed show specific objects or ask you to find something are clear messages. They might reveal where something important is hidden, or ask you to care for a particular item because of its special meaning. A powerful way to connect is through directed communication. Hold a personal object, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and mentally ask a specific question, whether practical or spiritual. Then watch for signs in the days that follow. Objects that suddenly draw your attention are often messages. You might walk past a shelf 100 times, but suddenly notice a certain book calling to you. Or maybe a piece of jewelry you thought you'd put away suddenly shows up somewhere you don't remember placing it. These moments are gentle nudges to pay closer attention. Numerical coincidences connected to these objects can be powerful signs too. You might find yourself glancing at their clock at the exact same time each day, or notice numbers in their notes that perfectly align with what's happening in your life. Numbers are a universal language. They deliver clear, meaningful messages. Some people experience sudden, inexplicable urges tied to a loved one's belongings, like a strong feeling to open a particular drawer or pick up a certain item of clothing. When they follow these impulses, they often uncover something important or find the comfort they needed in that moment. Messages can also come through other people. Maybe someone mentions an item that belonged to the person you lost, just as you were thinking about them. Or a child picks up their favorite toy right when it feels most significant. The key is to stay open-hearted and receptive. Communication through objects is always subtle, gentle, and respectful. It never arrives in a way that's scary or unsettling. If something does make you uncomfortable, that's likely leftover energy needing cleansing, not a message from a loved one. Remember, those who leave us out of love don't want to frighten or unsettle us. Their goal is to remind us that love transcends death, that invisible yet unbreakable bonds still connect us. True love knows no limits, not even death. When we approach a departed loved one's belongings with mindfulness, respect, and wisdom, we turn ordinary things into everlasting spiritual bridges. So next time you hold something special from someone you cared about, remember, you're not just holding an object. You're touching a living memory, a piece of eternity, a tangible reminder that some connections never fade. If you'd like, drop a comment below and let me know if you want a video revealing the 9 specific items that should never leave a home after someone passes. If enough people are interested, I'll make it happen. Until next time.